I'm about to show you something that sounds impossible. One drop. Not a cup, not a gallon jug. One single drop mixed into water, sprayed across your crabgrass, and within days the entire plant collapses, roots and all, dead down to the crown, and the grass around it, the good grass, the grass you actually want, stays green, stays healthy, does not even flinch. This is not a fantasy. This is chemistry, and it has been sitting on hardware store shelves for years, labeled in a way that makes it look like every other bottle of weed spray. Once you understand why this works, you will never pay for a crabgrass treatment plan again. Before we get into it, do me a favor, hit like on this video and subscribe to Lost Tech Vault. That is the only way you will catch the rest of this series when it drops, and trust me, you want the rest of this series. Now let's talk about crabgrass. Why is it the one weed that makes grown adults want to torch their entire lawn and start over? Because crabgrass isn't a broadleaf plant, it's a grass. It's biologically related to the turf you're trying to protect. That means most of the tricks that kill dandelions and clover do nothing here. You can't exploit a leaf shape difference because there isn't one. Spray something strong enough to kill crabgrass, and you'll usually kill your lawn right along with it. That's why crabgrass has a reputation. That's why people spend all summer pulling it by hand, watching it come back thicker every single time. The lawn care industry knows this. They know crabgrass is the weed that keeps people trapped in subscription programs, because most consumer products either do not work on mature crabgrass or they take out patches of your lawn trying. So they sell you a 4-step program, $200 a year, and tell you it's the only way. It's not. There's a compound called Quinclorac. You've probably seen it buried in the fine print on the back of a weed and feed bag, or a small bottle labeled crabgrass killer without ever knowing what it actually was. It's not new, it's been registered for turf use since the 1990s. Professional sports field managers have used it for decades because it does exactly one thing extremely well. It kills crabgrass without taking cool season turf down with it. And here's the part that sounds made up but isn't. It's so concentrated that the label doesn't measure it in cups, it measures it in milliliters. In some formulations, in actual drops per gallon. A tiny bottle that costs $15 to $20 will treat an entire lawn for multiple seasons. Compare that to $40 bottles of broad-spectrum crabgrass preventer you're rebuying every spring, and you start to see the math. Here's why it works. Quinclorac is a synthetic auxin. Auxin is a plant hormone that controls growth. Every plant produces it naturally in small, tightly regulated amounts to control how it stretches toward light, how its cells divide, how it grows. When you introduce a synthetic version at the right dose, it floods the plant system, and the plant loses the ability to regulate its own growth. Crabgrass responds to this flood catastrophically. Its cells start dividing uncontrollably, its stems twist and curl, its vascular tissue collapses, and it essentially grows itself to death from the inside out, including the crown and root system. That's why it doesn't just wilt the leaves, it kills the whole plant, roots included, which is exactly why it doesn't come back 3 weeks later the way it does after you rip it out by hand. Your turfgrass, meanwhile, has an enzyme system that metabolizes quinclorac before it can build up to a lethal concentration. It processes the chemical and moves on. Crabgrass doesn't have that same detox pathway working fast enough. Same chemical, same lawn, two completely different outcomes. That's not a gimmick, that's a documented difference in plant metabolism, and it's the whole reason this compound became the standard tool for selective crabgrass control on golf courses long before it ever showed up in a homeowner bottle. Now, application, because getting this wrong either wastes your money or stresses your lawn for nothing. Mix according to the concentrates label, but the standard home rate is roughly 1 to 2 teaspoons per gallon of water for spot and broadcast treatment, covering about 300 to 400 square feet per gallon. This is not a more is better situation. Over-applying doesn't kill crabgrass faster, it just increases your risk of temporary turf yellowing. Stick to the rate. Timing matters more with this product than almost any other lawn treatment. Quinclorac needs soil and air temperatures between roughly 65 and 90 degrees Fahrenheit to work effectively. Too cold and the crabgrass isn't metabolically active enough to absorb the lethal dose. Too hot and you risk stressing your turf. Late spring through midsummer, when crabgrass is actively growing but before it's gone to seed, is your window. Spray in the morning after dew has dried using a fine, even mist with a pump sprayer. Avoid mowing for 2 days before application and at least 2 to 3 days after, because fresh cut edges on grass blades change how the chemical is absorbed. And here's the rule that trips people up. Don't water the lawn for at least 24 hours after spraying, but understand that Quinclorac is slower than iron-based treatments. You won't see full results in 48 hours. Expect the crabgrass to start yellowing and twisting within 4 to 7 days, and full dieback, roots included, within 2 to 3 weeks. Patience here isn't optional, it's how the chemistry actually works. A few warnings. Do not apply Quinclorac to newly seeded or newly sodded lawns. It needs an established root system to tell the difference between friend and foe. Certain warm-season grasses, particularly St. Augustine, are more sensitive to this compound, so always check what it is labeled safe for before you spray. Keep pets and children off the lawn until it is fully dry, typically 2 to 3 hours. And do not apply during drought stress. Grass that is already struggling does not metabolize the chemical efficiently. And that is when you start seeing unwanted yellowing in your turf, not just the weeds. What it will not do, this is not a broadleaf killer. If your problem is dandelions or clover, Quinclorac is not your tool. That is still a job for iron sulfate, which I covered a few weeks ago. This is a specialist. Use it on crabgrass and a handful of other grassy invaders, and let it do that one job extremely well. Here's what happened at my own place. I had a strip along the driveway that turned into a crabgrass jungle every single July, no matter what I did. I'd pulled it, smothered it, even tried boiling water, which just left dead craters in my lawn that crabgrass reseeded into by August. Last summer, I mixed Quinclorac at the labeled rate, sprayed that strip on a Saturday morning, and did nothing else. By day 5, the crabgrass blades had this sickly, twisted yellow look, almost like they had been wrung out. By week 3, it was brown, brittle, and pulling out of the ground with zero resistance, roots and all. The fescue around it never yellowed, never thinned. It just sat there, green, patient, waiting for the space to open up. Total cost for that whole strip, less than $2 out of a bottle I paid $18 for. That bottle is still half full a year later. Crabgrass is not actually the impossible weed everyone treats it as. It is just a weed that needed the right chemistry instead of more elbow grease. If you want the next piece of this system, the one that stops crabgrass seed from ever germinating in the first place, that is coming in the next video. Like this one, subscribe to Lost Tech Vault and drop a comment telling me where your worst crabgrass patch is hiding. I will tell you exactly how to handle it.